You know how to use pronouns in French, right? Well, yeah, you have to pick the right pronoun, but then it gets confusing because a table is a she and the phone is a he, and then you have to switch pronouns if you want to talk to someone you want to pay respect to. Okay, we get it. You can use the pronouns in French. But can you talk about something random, something unrelated to anything in particular, something that wasn't even introduced to the conversation before? Okay, no sweat. I'm here to tell you how to do just that right now in this video. The impersonal pronouns in French are super useful to talk about something or someone that you don't really know of, but that still has an impact and that you still want to talk about. It can be confusing because we have 3 different forms, but I'm here, so I will, in this video, help you to understand by breaking everything down and making it as clear as possible. So make sure you watch the whole video. Okay, let's dive right in. First of all, we have il. Il is he, it's the pronoun for he, but it also has another use case. There are situations where you will use il without talking about anything in particular. Actually, you will use il and talk about everything. Talk about the situation that you are all in. You already know of this because you use il y a, I'm guessing. Il y a, that's what it is. The il in there talks about the situation. There is. But there are also other verbs that we use with this impersonal il, and there's even one that we use only, or several, that we use only with this impersonal il. We have the verbs that describe the weather. So, il fait beau, il pleut, il vente, il grêle, il gèle, il fait froid, all of that. And we also have the verb falloir for the necessity. So, the obligation, like we wouldn't say I need to go there. We would say it is needed that I go there. So, we don't say je faut y aller. Oh, that sounds awful. We say il faut que j'y aille, right? So, il faut. The situation implies that I need to. There are other use cases for this impersonal il, other verbs. There are so many examples. I don't want to make this video all about examples, but I think you need a few relevant ones. Il me reste 200 euros. Il me manque des pâtes pour ce soir. Il arrive que. Il paraît que. Il semble que. Il est interdit de. And there are other examples. Don't stress it. Sometimes even us native speakers can be confused whether or not il designs someone or, like I said, the situation. So basically, if you hear il that is not very related to anything you guys talked about before, or any man, any object, it is basically the situation, the impersonal il. Okay, moving on to the next one. We have ça. Ça means that, as in like that. But ça also has an impersonal use case. It is almost the same as il, but there is a little twist to it. Like I said, il is the whole, like everything, when ça would be more directional, okay? It would imply that you guys are talking about a situation, but there is a system, like a structure. It's not like everything. I will explain with examples because it's very hard for me to really consciously explain what I've been using subconsciously my whole life as a French native speaker. Let's say that you and your friend are contemplating, I don't know, robbing a bank. Your friend thinks it's doable. You guys can do it. So he's gonna say ça se fait. Okay? It means it does itself, but what it really means is it is doable. Okay? But you think that no, you guys are gonna get caught. So you think that there are a few roadblocks that you won't be able to overcome. So you say, ça passe pas. It doesn't pass, or it doesn't happen. But what it really means is it won't go well till the end. There will be some obstacles. That's what it means. Ça passe pas. So that's just to show you some examples of how ça can be used to describe a situation, but it's more direction. It's more like something you can figuratively or not point at. And I can give some other examples. If a parent sees their child misbehaving, they might say arrête, ça se fait pas. Stop, it doesn't do itself. Again, it means stop, and ça se fait pas would be translated by it is not okay to do this, no one does it, and there's a reason for it. Ça se fait pas. So it doesn't imply that you're misbehaving, it's more like that's not something one can do. Make sense? And of course, the very famous ça va. This is the same ça, it's impersonal. It's like, how is the situation for you? Ça va, is it going for you? And the response can be ça va or ça va bien. It's the same thing. And it's the same system with ça va aller. If you want to comfort someone or say that it's going to be alright, ça va aller. You can also use this ça in ça arrive, it happens. Ça va le faire, it's gonna be alright. Don't stress it if you don't know which one to use. It's pretty confusing and it's very implicit. Their meaning are very subtle, the differences. So yeah, don't be too worried about that. You don't have to use il et ça. You will use them like naturally when you will say il faut, il y a, for example, but you don't have to do it. You should take this video more as a informative video than a guide. You will end up using those if you hang out enough with French-speaking people. But I would say that if you hesitate between ça and il, you can place a bias towards ça, as it is a bit more common to hear. Okay, finally we have on. I promise, it's the last one. On means we, as in like we as a group. Okay, there's also nous, but let's say that nous is very formal. When we write French, we would use nous, but when we speak, what automatically comes is on. But on has another meaning, another impersonal meaning. It designates someone that wasn't introduced before or a group of people. On. It's like in English when you want to say I've been told or my bike was stolen, one did this to me. In all of those cases, you can replace this by on. On m'a dit que. On m'a volé mon vélo. On m'a fait ça. But again, you don't have to use that. There's always a way around it. For example, someone has a very good translation, very correct translation in French. Quelqu'un. So you can just say quelqu'un m'a dit ça. Quelqu'un a fait ça. And on is what we natives use when we want to talk about someone or a group of people that was not yet introduced to the conversation and that will likely not be. So let's have a little recap here. We have il for the situation as a whole, the weather, the necessity, il faut que, all of that, something that includes us all, if that makes sense. And then we have ça. Ça designates a situation too, but it is more directional. It's like ça, as in you point at something. And then the last one would be on. On is the same principle, but for people or for a group of people. Someone or a group of person that was not introduced to the conversation yet, and that is likely not gonna be introduced to the conversation after that. Okay, folks, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope that it helped you understanding better. If you have any questions, of course, ask them in the comment section down below. If this video was helpful for you, please consider leaving a thumbs up and subscribing. À bientôt.